Plato's Republic, written around 380 BCE, is a series of conversations between Socrates, who was Plato's teacher, and young, ambitious men who wanted to learn from Socrates. These men ask, "Socrates, what is justice?" And Socrates answers in a form to describe the ideal society. Creating a perfect society is a thought experiment which has become a tradition of philosophy ever since. There is Saint Augustine with the City of God. In the Renaissance, there is Thomas More with the Utopia, and Machiavelli, the Prince. Famously, which everybody knows, is Marx and Engels with the Communist Manifesto. In our time, there is John Rawls with the Veil of Ignorance. I will read the sections after the famous allegory of the cave. These sections come after Socrates has explained to Glaucon, people without a proper education cannot see reality properly. First is an explanation about how to educate children. The second excerpt is why properly educated people do not want to become politicians, yet they will become politicians. They don't desire to be politicians, but they will become politicians. It's an ethical sense of duty. In both cases, I will read something that sounds reasonable today, but I will continue to read something that sounds pretty strange to our modern sense. But remember, this is 2,000 years ago with a different society. So Plato is naturally saying something that doesn't fit our nature. But all the same, the values that they had before still have some feeling of what is valuable today.
Calculation and geometry, and all the other elements of instruction, which are a preparation for rational dialogue, should be presented to the mind in childhood, not, however, under any notion of forcing our system of education. Why not? Because a free person should not be a slave in the acquisition of knowledge of any kind. Bodily exercise, when compulsory, does no harm to the body, but knowledge which is acquired under compulsion obtains no hold on the mind. Very true. Then, my good friend, I said, do not use compulsion, but let early education be a sort of amusement. You will then be better able to find out the natural inclination of the child. That is a very rational notion, he said. So far, Socrates sounds like a liberal kindergarten teacher. Play, children, and grow into beautiful flowers. And if you find the time, go ahead and count the petals. You may see interesting patterns. I'm just saying. But in the next line, we are reminded that ancient Greek society was perpetually at war, and that Socrates and Plato had themselves been soldiers. Do you remember that the children, too, were to be taken to see the battle on horseback, and that if there were no danger, they were to be brought close up and, like young hounds, have a taste of blood given to them? Yes, I remember. The same practice may be followed, I said, in all these things, labors, lessons, dangers. And he who is the most at home in all of them should be enrolled in a select number which fits his inclination. Wow, no, I've heard of young kids hunting deer to get accustomed early on, but Socrates, this seems a bit extreme to taste the blood of other humans. Socrates goes on to make the point that a good education exposes the student to everything, but gives the student the chance to develop their own natural area of expertise. The idea that teachers need to allow each student to reach their unique potential is still very much discussed at teacher training programs. These kind of ideas have their roots in ancient philosophy, which is actually a practical attempt to find the best way to live. Next, we'll see how Plato, through the voice of Socrates, envisions the effects of good education on politics. He admits that wise philosophers won't desire political power because they already enjoy the power of wisdom. But since philosophers recognize the benefits of state are shared among all citizens, the responsibilities of the state must also be shared. And thus our state, which also belongs to you, young Glaucon, will be a reality, and not a dream only, and will be administered in a spirit unlike that of other states, in which people fight with one another about shadows only, and are distracted in the struggle for power, which in their eyes is a great good. Whereas the truth is that the state in which the rulers are most reluctant to govern is always the best and most quietly governed, and the state in which they are the most eager, the worst. Quite true, he replied. From the point of view of United States political competition, Plato seems correct. The struggle for power to be president of the world's strongest country consumes more than 1/3 of each 4-year political cycle. Whether the US is indeed the worst governed state, of course, is a hot topic. But I think Plato overestimates the goodwill of philosophers when he says that they will choose to become politicians. He says that first, they will do it to help others, and second, to help themselves, because they will desire a well-ordered state. Remember, too, that ancient Athens had a population of 40,000 or less. So the actions of politicians in those days were more immediately felt by everyone. Glaucon, my friend, our philosophers will create a well-ordered state which offers a better life for all. For only in the state which offers this will they rule who are truly rich, not in silver and gold, but in virtue and wisdom, which are the true blessings of life. There can never be order when politicians are poor and hungering after their own private advantage, for they will be fighting about office, not about a well-run state. Most true, he replied. And the only life which looks down upon the life of political ambition is that of true philosophy. Do you know of any other? Indeed, I do not, he said. And those who govern should not be lovers of the task, for if they are, there will be rival lovers, and they will fight.